Good morning, fans, ladies and gentlemen across the world. Coming at you today with another great morning, this Saturday morning live stream. And we are here this afternoon to start to talk about a lot that's going on with the college basketball world, along with a few things when it comes to eligibility of these players with the NCAA. As we seen Chambliss just this earlier this week get his eligibility back, which is, we talked about it, thought it would be some chaotic things, but more importantly is I'm here with the man that put us all together this morning, WTP for life. How's it going this morning, Unc? How you feeling this morning?
I'm good, nephew. I'm glad to be here with you this morning to talk another edition of Saturday Sports Freestyling, talking about some college basketball and some things that's happening in college football with Trinidad Gamblers getting awarded another year eligibility. So I'm anxious to get into some of this discussion that we got on the slate today. Thanks for having me this morning.
Oh, always a pleasure, and it's always good to see you as well. And I know we talk so much within our chat, but when we see in our faces and we able to talk, that makes so much more of a difference, and we see that enthusiasm as we go through the show. But I don't think we're gonna hold the people up this morning to get their afternoon started, and the great games and a great slate that we have today, headed off by a big game that we have. We got Kansas at Iowa State. And one thing that we talked about this Kansas team, Darren Peterson's health. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? But I actually had a chance to watch this Iowa State team. This Iowa State team can go, and they're very tough. I think they could easily be a number one seed, possibly as the season progressed going into March. What's your thoughts on this Kansas at Iowa State game today?
The thing I like most about Kansas is the fact that they've had a whole bunch of opportunities to play without Peterson on the court with them because of the things he's been dealing with his health and injuries and things. So I think this Kansas team is really starting to form into shape. They're starting to play some really, really good basketball. They had a really big win over Arizona earlier in the week. And I think this Kansas team, if they continue to play really good self basketball, they can be a really good team in the tournament. They're playing against the number five team in the country, Iowa State, who has a really, really good backcourt. They have a really, really talented team. I think they're going to have their hands full against this Iowa State team. I'm taking Iowa State to beat Kansas today. I think that this Iowa State team at home is pretty unbeatable.
And we also got our man, one take Zay in the building. How's it going for you? And good to see you in the building this morning, one take. Can you talk to the people? Let us know how you feeling this morning.
Hey man, no mistakes, no retakes. That's all it takes is one take. Zaya in the building. How
Yes,
it do, my people?
man, feeling pretty good, man. Say that one more time because the one-liners, we definitely got to clip them, and I love the way you sounded talking and telling them about that one time for me.
Hey, level up. I've been working on that. You know what I mean? After the rebranding, I was working on that, man. You feel what I'm saying, baby? Hey,
Yes,
it's
sir.
no mistakes, no retakes. That's all it takes is one take. Zaya.
Yes, sir. And he's in the building, and we here this morning, and we talking about Kansas at Iowa State. What is your thoughts on this big game? I think this is one of the biggest games that haven't really gotten much talk. But what's your thoughts on this Kansas at Iowa State?
Man, Iowa State, I love their point guard. I like how he control the game. I like how he get people in the positions that they need to. But my favorite going into March Madness is this Kansas team, man. I think um, when Peterson is not in, they learned how to play together. I love the guard council. I love that they got a couple bigs that can stretch the floor. And when you add Peterson, who's a possible number one pick, if he can be healthy and on the court, it takes that team to a new level. So, um, where is this game at? Is it in Iowa today?
It's at Iowa State. It's at Iowa
Yeah,
State.
I would probably go Iowa State to get this win. Um, basketball is a sport. You know, losing the game really don't mean that you're not a very good club. These are both very good teams. But I'm gonna take Iowa State at home.
Mm, I like your pick, one take, and I totally agree with you. Watching this Kansas team, how they, you know, beat Arizona earlier this week, seeing them play without Darren Peterson, I think we all by now, if we can't see what talent he brings and what he could do at the next level, we blind. But I definitely feel like this Kansas team has found something. They reminded me of that Robinson Young tandem with the way the Biggs is coming along and B Tiller. This is Bryson Tiller. He's not an R&B artist. He's a basketball superstar, and he's a freshman here at Kansas. I think the way he's actually been playing in this last month, I think he's made Kansas that much more of a dangerous team. As you mentioned, Council as well. He could go. Some people sit back and say he takes some crazy shots or his motor don't stop, but in college basketball, that motor helps this season. And I've been noticing that the way he plays, it helps this Kansas team. And they're used to how he played. Without his energy, I think Kansas is not the type of team they are, along with the way these freshmen are playing. So I got, to say all of that about Kansas. Iowa State has the number one three-point shooter in the nation. If y'all haven't checked him out, y'all might want to get a check out on him. He's not just a shooter. He gets to the bucket. I say he's a pure dog. So go check out 22 for Iowa State. I can't think of his name right away, Zay. I watched him through the week, and that boy's a bucket. He could shoot the leather off that thing. So I'm going Iowa State. I'm going with the Cyclones, and they're going to spin that thing around Kansas like new money, swinging the ball like they do, and get a big win today at home. And I think this could push them into that number one seed come tournament time. The next game that we're going to talk about would be 25 Kentucky at number 14 Florida. Another showdown in a conference. This is the SEC, as we just talked about, the Big 12 conference. And in this one, can Hall lead Florida, or will Kentucky win on the road? This is a game. This is, similar to a rivalry, even though it's SEC. They have had their battles. What's your thoughts on this one? And I'm going to start with you, WTP.
I really think that Hall, man, is a really, really nice player, man, for Florida. Long guy who can go perimeter. He can go in the post. Kentucky is playing some really good basketball, man, in comparison to what they were doing at the beginning of the season. I don't think they go on the road and beat this Florida team, but this is an opportunity for Kentucky to gain some confidence by hanging in this game. If they don't get blown out, they can really get some confidence going into the tournament. I like Kentucky to keep it close, but I got Florida and Hall winning this game by at least 4 points.
What's your thoughts, one take? He might be busy working. You
Nah,
good?
nah, I'm over here shopping, man. I'm about to go to the city championship. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, I like Florida, man. Kentucky have been coming on strong lately, but I just think that home court advantage is going to be too much for him today. And Rob mentioned Hall. He going to be a lottery pick. That's a lottery pick we looking at. That boy can ball. So I'm going with Florida in this game.
Man, this is back to back. I know people are gonna be like, he was a Kentucky fan last year. Since I've said I'm switching over to BYU, it's crazy because BYU's been slowly getting closer to this number 25 seed that Kentucky actually have, and Kentucky actually has moved up into the rankings. But I'm a BYU fan. No disrespect to Kentucky. I like Florida. I'm a big Hall fan. This kid can play, man. He could really go. I think the next level is built for his play. Um, I just think he's a special talent, and you definitely got to stop him to defeat Florida. If they want to get this road win and an upset at Florida, they have to stop Ha. And I think he's just a tough guard for anybody in the nation. With his height being, I think 6'11". I mean, he could, like you said, put it on the deck. He could shoot the leather off of it as well. So I just think this Florida team, and can't forget, they have national championship experience. They had a tough road that they had to get through to get there, and some of the teams they face. So we can't forget that. And they look like they trying to get them wheels turning in the right direction as they get towards this SEC tournament and March Madness play. So I'm going with Florida as well in this one. And I think it'll be a big win if Florida could get that going towards, like I said, March Madness. I think the biggest game as well of the day. I mean, you could really have a toss up in this Big 12 today because you got bangers on top of bangers. And this next one, I think, is a team we all feel could do some damage in the tournament. A lot of other people feel one team could win the tournament and still think they're a top team by some. It's Texas Tech at Arizona. Well, Arizona bounced back against a tough Texas Tech team, or will we see a stretch that we never seen happening? Based on what we've seen out of Arizona this year, a lot of people didn't think that they would have taken that loss that they did last week, but it was a trap game, in my opinion. Tough place to play in at Kansas. What's your thoughts on Texas Tech at Arizona?
If this thing was in Texas Tech, in Lubbock, I would give Texas Tech a chance to win this game. I think they're going to play really, really good in this game because of the level of competition they're going to be facing. They're going to be up for it because they're one of those teams that they're not going to shy away from no competition. I really like this Texas Tech team going into the tournament, but I just think being on the road, Arizona losing to Kansas, they're going to be ultra focused. They're not going to make the mistakes that we saw them make against Kansas. And I think they win this game probably close to double digits, man, because I really don't think they're going to lose focus in this matchup because that Texas Tech team is not a team you can overlook. And I don't think Arizona would do that. So I'm picking Arizona to win this game by almost double digits.
Ooh. What's your thoughts, Monte?
Yeah, I like what Rob was saying, man. Listen, when you play this Arizona team, you gotta damn near bring your A game, bro. And I just don't see Arizona doing it today. I mean Texas Tech doing it today. So I'm going Arizona. Like, even if this is the crazy part about Arizona too. Even if they don't play their best game, you still have to play one of your better games to beat them. And that's what makes them so dangerous, bro. It makes them real dangerous.
Man, I like what it's like. Texas Tech is reminding me of how Houston was trying to get there, trying to get to that championship. You know, and my thoughts was, is this that year that Texas Tech can get over the hump? But then they got to face this tough Arizona team today. This is a tough team, Arizona. They lost a tough game earlier this week against Kansas, but you know that's a tough place to play at for anybody. And I think they get their home crowd rocking. Like you said, WTP, they mess around and try to get this win by 10 or even 20. They're at home. This Arizona team, I think they come out with a different fight today. I think you're going to come out, see them hitting on all cylinders. I think they got outplayed in ways in that game earlier this week against Kansas. So I think they have all that steam rolling. Come home to the desert and send Texas Tech. They send them back home and they packing it up. And it's really something to think about with this Texas Tech team. So I'm going to take Arizona, taking Koa Pete, Burries, them two tough players. And then you have also that senior leader and Bradley, as well as the big man, the 7-footers. I just think he's one of the most skilled 7-footers we have in college basketball. And I mean, they come at you in waves. So I'm going with Arizona, and I'm going to go with you and take a double-digit win as far as against Texas Tech today at home. we have comments as well in the section. I didn't. Oh, that's your comment in there. The next game that we have on the slate, I think every game to me today is pretty big. When it comes to it. But right now, who are your four number one seeds in the NCAA tournament? As we inching closer and closer to March, who are your four number one seeds? And if you are in the chat, we appreciate you tuning in and watching. And make sure you type in your comments as well. Who do you feel right now are the four number one seeds?
Man, this is a kind of tough one, man.
Tough.
Plus, you got Iowa State sitting there at 5, and you thinking, man, they could possibly get one of those slots. I know for sure I'm going Duke and Arizona and getting one of those spots. But then you got a team like Houston that's there. Man, this is tough. This is tough. I know for sure I got Duke and I got Arizona. I'm gonna have to think a little bit more on the other two. I'll come back with the other two maybe here in a little bit if I can think of somebody else that might steal that spot.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
One take.
I got Arizona as my overall number one. I'm gonna go Michigan as my number 2 seed. And then my 3 seed, I'm gonna go Duke. And then my 4 seed, I'm gonna go UConn.
Because they've been coming on strong. Man, it's tough. I'm literally right there in against Arizona overall. You got Michigan, you got Duke. Like you said, Zay, you got UConn. Like for me, it's UConn, Iowa State. Like after watching last week's game, I'm gonna go Iowa State because I didn't see UConn last week. But UConn is something different. Like I'm trying to figure out where you're getting these guys from. They
got the best hats all over on this block, bro.
Yeah,
it's like my third hat buying out of here in like a month.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's all I need.
I'm gonna put Iowa State as my 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna tap.
I'm gonna put Iowa State and UConn right there at 4. Either way, you could go Iowa State or UConn. Seeing Iowa State for me made the difference. I'm not gonna say it's a biased pick, but I just seen them, and they are a team that no one's talking about, and they've been right on the door like Houston, like a Texas Tech team who we feel is right there. So this Iowa State team is tough, and they got shooters, and they got bigs, and they got athletic players, and like you said, the guard play is tremendous. So I'm gonna take Iowa State as 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Michigan and UConn. I don't know if the committee is gonna allow 2 Big 12 teams to get number 1 seeds, man. So I'm gonna take UConn and Michigan as my other 2, along with Arizona and Duke. The thing that is out there though is that none of these SEC teams will probably get a number 1 seed. They'll probably quite a few of them will land on the line 2 and line 3 in this tournament. But I think that's telling that you had so many SEC teams that were really, really good last year, but this year you won't get any of them on the number 1 line, which I think speaks volumes to what these other conferences have done, especially UConn, man. The fact that UConn, I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it. They stay relevant in college basketball, man, on the men's side, and we already know what they do on the women's side. But I'm gonna go with Michigan out of the Big Ten, and I'm gonna go with UConn out of the Big East to take those other 2 spots as number 1 seeds.
We got Arizona, Michigan, Duke, UConn. Pretty much is what we're looking at with Iowa State being the team that could possibly sneak in there. But like you said, it'll be crazy. Anything's possible. as KG said, and it's a true fact, but man, this Michigan, after the Trey Burke jersey retirement, creeping back up into national prominence. No one's seen this happening. But just to speak volumes about this Michigan team, when you get a transfer like Lindenborg, if I'm saying it correctly, to come over from a school, such a small school, and make such an impact. This Michigan team seemed like they've reloaded, getting Cadeau, bringing Cadeau in from North Carolina as well. So some of these schools, the portal has definitely been great to them. And for me on the college basketball side, I don't know about. It's weird because for me on the college basketball side, I've been having this thing to where, man, I like this portal, how it's changing the game on the basketball, but on the football side, I don't know if it's doing the same. What's your thoughts on that? The how the portal's playing a part in on the basketball side, on the football side is. Have you both thought about that in any way?
I think on the basketball side, man, I really like what the portal does for the game of basketball in college because you have so many players and basketball is a sport that that can have a lot more parity
Yeah,
than football does. And the fact that you got all of these smaller schools that got players who can really play, bro. I mean, they can really play. And they have an opportunity to get to a Power Four school in 2 years, maybe possibly playing at a lower level school. I think that is phenomenal, man, that they can make that kind of transition after playing at a lower level school. We see it some in football as well. Um, but not maybe at the magnitude that you can see it in basketball. The only thing is basketball only got maybe 12 to 15 players on their team where college football has now 105 scholarships. So you're going to start to see that happen a little bit more with those smaller schools, especially if a school wants to develop a guy that they can have to play 2 years at their school after they developed him for a couple of years. But I like what it does at the collegiate level in basketball because you finally get to see some of these smaller level school guys make it to the Power Four, especially if they go to a really prominent school that makes it to the tournament, and you get to hear this guy's story or this young lady's story who played at a lower level school. Now they're at the Power Four and they balling out, man. Much like we seen with the kid from Florida last year.
yeah, agreed. What's your thoughts on this one, Tate?
Yeah, I came to the consensus, man, of I don't like the portal, quite frankly. I think it needs to be some parameters. I think guys should get one free transfer, and then after that, you should have to sit out a year. Um, and that's it's just too much movement, man. It's too much player movement for me, bruh. So I don't know. I think that's a good solve right there. You let a kid transfer one time, that's your transfer. Then after that, you sit out a year. I think that's a good solution.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree with you. One take on that. It definitely got to have parameters in terms of guys being able to move willy nilly like they doing now. They need some parameters. So I agree with you on that for sure.
yeah, and just real quick, the reason I had mentioned that because I watched Michigan last year. I watched them this year. They got a great freshman in McKinney. Who people don't really talk about a lot. And when Lindenborg, coming from UAB, he was over there leading his team in almost every statistical category. You come into the Big Ten conference, and you're a part of something that's just just moving. So, that's what made me, bring that question in there as well, and knowing that the portal has been very good to them. You get a point guard from North Carolina, and you get a wing from UAB, and that blends to y'all being, top of college basketball. So that was one of the main reasons of, that question. And it's just something to talk about as well. Definitely seeing that across the country.
Yeah, I
One,
mean, let me add one more thing, Mark, real quick, Miles Bark. when you look at this team, Texas, who I follow, they only had 3 players from their previous team last year that's on this roster this year, man. So they had to bring in 8, 9 new guys, man, into Texas to play ball because of all of this freaking movement, man. To Isaiah's point, to one take Isaiah's point, that, man, guys are just moving willy-nilly, man. And for a team to only retain 3 of their players and had to go out and get 8, 9 more players,
It's crazy.
that's one heck of a burden on a coach and an organization to have to do year in and year out. And that's probably going to be the norm for a lot of schools, especially schools like Texas who really aren't basketball schools.
Yeah, it's man. I just thought like when you go get 8 to 9 players, that's like you got to go fill an NBA roster in the off season. Then you got the NIL, and we talk about this. The fact that college basketball is starting to be the new version of the NBA, NBA G League, possibly. Like it's a lot that you could really go in to talk about this because that's basically what Texas had to do: build a roster, to come into the season. And hats off to what they've been building there because we know the hometown guy, Dalen, who's been having a monstrous year, along with a few other players over at Texas. So definitely hats off to them guys coming and signing that contract to be a part of that school and do what they're doing, upholding that student athlete aspect. Because that's one thing I think that's misconstrued is they're holding up their end, being that student athlete. And speaking of student athletes, we have switch the gears real quick and talk a little bit about a quarterback that I'm sure everyone has heard a lot of the news. Trinidad Chambliss was granted a 6-year of eligibility by a Mississippi judge who is an Ole Miss grad. What's your thoughts on the whole situation? We talk about full circle. We talk about equator line. What's shaking with the Trinidad Chambliss? I don't know if the judge, that happened to help. I don't know. It's something going on. What's your thoughts on this one? Start with you.
I mean, anytime you got a guy who is trying to petition for another season and they're going to court to get that ruling, and they do it in the same state in which the guy plays his athletics, I think for one that should not have happened. He should have had to go somewhere else to get this ruling done. And you can't have it a judge who was a graduate of the freaking university where this guy's trying to get another year. I mean that's a red flag too. Um, it's not that I don't want Trinidad Chambers to get another year. I just feel like, once your time is done, it should be done, and the next guy should be able to roll in there. I like I said in another video, I don't think that he should have gotten another year. I think that he should have had to have gone to the NFL. But now it looks like maybe it might be too late for him to enter the NFL draft because I think his paperwork would have had to already been in. So he's going to come back for another year. I guess the NCAA might fight it, but I don't like the fact that it was done in the same state in which he plays ball, and it was a judge who happened to be a grad of Ole Miss.
Yeah, I think those was a couple red flags in the situation. One take. What's your thoughts on this? I know you really key in on a lot of these situations that happen behind closed doors. What's your thoughts on this one? One take. I know you've been waiting to get to on this one.
Yeah, so man,
Is it going in and out?
Yeah, you kind of choppy right now. One take. Yeah, maybe you need to answer Musburger and then see if we can get him back.
Yeah. Mine was like for
can
me.
y'all hear me?
Yeah, you better go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, like I think Chambliss deserved his injunction, but when you look across the landscape of college football, it's a whole bunch of guys that don't be deserving it. You know,
Yeah.
like who's somebody said it on the stream. Dude got granted a ninth year. Like, come on, what we doing? What are we doing? Like, at
Yeah.
least Chambliss, you know, a red shirt. We've always been familiar with a red shirt year and a medical red shirt year. Them are in the parameters.
Yeah.
But a ninth year is unexplainable. It's no explanation for a ninth year. You know, so I don't know. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with Joey Aguilar. And, you know, I think that'll give me a little more clarity. I think the NCAA is in the process of trying to, kind of start enforcing their law of what they got going on. But we'll see what it's going to start looking like after this ruling for Joey Aguilar.
Man. It's like I don't. If he hurt, I get it. You know, if they can't play because they're hurt, I get that whole situation. Now, when that eligibility is up, it's just time to go ahead and do what you gotta do to get to the next level. Um, that's where I'm at a point of being with this. Um, and a lot of these situations when it comes to the eligibility, I think when we spoke on it before, that's one thing we talk about. When your time is up, your time is up. Um, we understand the injury aspect, but then that takes away from someone that's actually, they might have been a one star. They might have walked on and they get in their shot to be this athlete. You never know. Some of these situations could cause them to not continue in being that athlete that they came to be. So it's just I hope they get a hold of it. And once again, I don't think the NCAA has control over anything. That's what it's starting to seem like because we thought they would, but now going back, it's like they're going to have more eligibility coming with the Joey Aguilar situation as well as another quarterback I think we had in there. So it's just something that I think they, like we said, have to get a hold of fast, man, before it get out of hand continuously every year. Somebody gonna want an extra year.
Yeah. It seems like the injury is the biggest elephant in the room, if you will,
Yeah,
because we already know red shirt is going to happen, and everybody seems to understand and be okay with the red shirt. The injury or the medical thing is the thing that is up in the air, and they got to have all these rulings on this the injury stuff. The thing is, you've had so many players who have been awarded a 6 year because of injury, and then another guy who comes and doesn't get it. It just doesn't seem fair. So it seems like it should be a pretty easy fix for the NCAA to just go ahead and say, okay, yeah, we're going to go with this 5 year rule. But if you happen to red shirt and you suffer an injury, you can get a 6 year, and then that should be the bottom line to it. The guy with 9 year getting his ninth year, apparently there's been so many injuries in this thing that he's getting another year. I guarantee you that if he was at a Power 4 school, they probably wouldn't let that roll. But the fact that he's at Montana, they probably don't really necessarily care. But if you think about it, this guy 9 years, he's probably almost 30. So it's like, come on, man. Don't you want to go out there? Because right now you should have 100 degrees. You should be able to go out there and make some pretty good money in the professional field. But I think the NCAA, the, it's already set. You already know you can go 5 years to play, and then if you have an injury, you can get a 6 year. That should just be the criteria. Um, and they can fix that really, really easily, and we don't have to deal with this. Somebody having to petition for a 6 year if they had an injury that ruled them out for a season along with a red shirt. So I think that should be an easy fix for the NCAA. They just got to go ahead and take matters in their own hand and write it in the policy.
Yeah, I agree. And then that runs right into the next question. Will this open a door for the other players seeking another year of eligibility, or will the NCAA fight back?
I mean, we already know that the NCAA doesn't want litigation. They don't want to get taken to court. You know, they don't want to have to do that kind of stuff. And so I think they could really help themselves, especially in the case of these 6-year things, by go ahead and writing that thing in the policy, man, and not even have to rule on it. The guy was injured, don't even rule on it. He get a 6 year. Don't even have to go to the point where you got to get taken to court for a guy to petition to get the 6 year. But then, of course, you know what's going to happen. They're going to be wanting the 7th year. So you know how that's going to go. But they got to go ahead and fix this thing, man. And I think it could be a pretty easy fix if they go ahead and write in 5 years to play. You can get a 6 year if one of your years you redshirted and you were injured for a year. So if it's 2 years you sat out, you can get a 6 year. I think they can fix that easily. But we know that it's going to help. His decision for Trinidad is going to help Aguilar. It's going to help the lineman that's trying to get a 6 year that's trying to come to Texas. It's going to help him as well.
Well, we got to remember too, though. Trinidad went to state court, and I got to finish doing the research to see if that was an old misjudge.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it
Said he
was.
was an Ole Miss grad. I was looking at something. He was an Ole
See
Miss
what I'm
grad.
saying? Politics, baby, politics. We love
Politics.
it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Then the situation with Aguilar, they coming back next week. I was just looking at they left, without making a ruling in his case the day before yesterday, I believe. And they're coming back after the, heartful felt weekend to figure some things out, I guess, to see what's what, and his next step. And he's actually in position to possibly win it, which is great. Like, it's just so much that comes along with it. And like you said, that sounds great. 5th year, if they really hurt, put the paperwork out there. Like you said, they need to get something written up to where they don't have these problems. Because, like you said, it'll be a person looking for that 7th year, trying to break their bank in the courtroom, as we see that's constantly going on now. And that's the way to put a heart to it, putting that paperwork together to prevent them from actually going through those things. The next question is a bigger one, big one. Just with the playoff talk that we've been talking about as well for going on a couple years. We talk about it a lot, almost every day within the chat. Said, what's your thoughts on the document circulating around the various college football coaches and commissioners about going to a 16-team college football playoff to a 24-team college football playoff with no conference championship games? Wow.
I mean, the reality is, I think this is what college football is going to, especially when you're talking about the noise out there. They're going to 2 super conferences, and the fact that teams are being left out of the college football playoffs at 12. They want to get it to where you don't have a whole lot more discussion about people getting left out, especially once you get to 24. And a lot of people think that that number is too high. I sort of like 24 because I really feel like you could get a lot of really, really good football teams with an opportunity to see some really good matchups that you don't normally get to see during the regular season. You'll get to see them in the playoffs. I think 16 should be next, just so we can get a feel for it. We'll get a 2 year sample size in 27 and 28. And then in 29, we'll get a 24 team playoff, and that'll run through 31 once the college football playoff committee contract runs out. And then we can see what direction to go from there. After we've had a sample size of 4, 12, 16, 24, then you should be able to say, listen, we know what will work best. Let's go ahead and go with this format, get everybody to sign off on it, and go ahead and make it happen. So I think if it goes the way that they want it to go, which is to 16 and 27 and 28, and then 29, 30 and 31, 24 teams, we can really get to see what that looks like. And as far as the going to 24 and no conference championship games, I think a lot of, and I'm one of them. I want to see the conference championship game go away. I don't want to see that thing being played anymore. Simply because I don't want teams to risk another player getting injured in that game, and then they got to go and play in the playoffs. And now they're handicapped because one of their key players got hurt in that game. So I want to see it all play out, but I would have liked to see them go to 16 this year. But we don't have a big enough sample size at 12 after only 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. What's going on in the chat, SEC Sean? It's good to see you in here this evening. Tell us who won that great race and all that good stuff. I got to tune into the stream. I've been a little busy the last couple of days, of course, with work, but we'll talk about that more in the chat, I'm sure, if y'all got my message on the late night side. But other than that, man, for me, really, I totally like, I'm for exactly what you for. I feel exactly how you feel. I think it's just going. We'll see a similarity of those BCS bowl matchups that we seen way back in the day. Those matchups you don't get to see a lot, and I think that brings a different volume and crowd as well. You know, we want to see those type of matchups over the usual teams that we see, to where we know the possible outcome more so than just seeing a banger, as we call those great games. So I hope, like, I totally agree with that. That's something that I felt. I like to see 16 to 24. It just gives us a better glimpse, and we see with the conference championships, it really haven't done much in the last few years, really, since the playoff. But had this SEC Big Ten battle where Big Ten has really won the last championship. So let's throw all that out the window. Let's do a 16 to 24. Let's see what we could come up with and see if it's better. He said Chandler Smith run a truck race. Top five were less than 1/10 of a second apart. Wow. Wow. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I know they was really out there going crazy on that track, man. Um, Anything that we haven't hit on, anything when it comes to All-Star Weekend that you're looking forward to tonight? Your boy over in Philly, Rising Stars champ, VJ Edgecombe. What's your thoughts about your young man, the rookie sensation, VJ Edgecombe, to switch gears a little bit over in Philly, the city of brotherly love? Do you think it's really time for Embiid to go? Because Edgecombe is here.
Yeah, man. I was really big on MB getting shipped out of there, and maybe with the season that he's having right now, he will garner some attention in the off season. I really like Edgecombe. I had to have a couple of people had to educate me on Edgecombe because I wasn't that familiar with him. And so my son, of course, was telling me about him, and a couple of other Philly fans was telling me how nice he is, and I really like his game. I really like that backcourt tandem with him and oh, his name slips my mind right now. But anyway, I like that backcourt tandem with Escom and the other fella. And if Embiid can continue to play the way he's playing, man, I mean, let him go ahead and finish out his career in Philly. But I was one of those fans who wanted him to get shipped out. But now that he's playing so well, I don't know. We might be able to make a playoff run. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I guess I'm flip flopping.
What's your thoughts on that, Zay? is Edgecombe here to make a lot of people go back and think about how they drafted an NBA? Because a lot of people really didn't have him high on the draft board. I think he was a talent in college. I think he's come into the NBA and shocked a lot of people. But I think he's definitely put a good look on what Philly's future could be with him. And I'm gonna call the new profile T Max, not T Max, T Max, and Tyrese Max
Yeah,
over in
Maxwell,
Philly.
Maxi, yeah,
I mean, I thought people, respected and loved this game going into the draft. I just don't think he produced as they thought he should last year, and that's probably the reason why he wasn't higher on draft boards because they felt like it was something left to be desired. But NBA draft is hard, man. You never know how these guys is gonna pan out unless they just like a one of one talent, a generational talent that you just ain't seen in a while. And look, I go back to my favorite player ever, like coming out of high school, just followed him all through OJ Mayo. I remember when OJ Mayo was coming through, and they was like, "Man, this is the most hype prospect since LeBron," and the woo woo woo. And he had a good rookie season, but the next year he wasn't playing that well really. Before he got ran out of, he wasn't playing that well. So I think it's kind of hard to you know. Because every level you move up, bro, the game speed changes, and then there's different variables, especially when you get to the NBA. Are you put in the right situation? So it's kind of hard to really judge some of these guys when you're doing this draft process because the certain things just got to go right. You know how they say, um, what they call it? You know, you just need luck sometimes, a little luck sometimes. So I don't know, man. You just got to keep on evaluating how you evaluate. Uh, that's why they get paid the big bucks. Them scouting departments, they get paid a lot of money. These GMs get paid a lot of money. They done seen a lot of basketball over their time. So just trust the process.
And I'm glad you mentioned that name, OJ Mayo. It's a name I've noticed been circulating. If you haven't had the chance to even know who he is or watch him, go look up some footage. I had the chance to watch him and Bill Walker in high school before we played in our state championship game earlier in the day during our run. And then I seen LeBron later on. Like, man, that kid was something special. Um, I think he was, man, I just wish he could have stayed and doing what he do, man. Not that he's not doing anything special, but OJ Mayo, go check the footage out. He is one of those guys that could have been one that's still playing today with the high level. And as we talk about, you know, OJ Mayo, and I mentioned just LeBron, the oldest, your GOAT, the oldest with the triple double in NBA history. What's your thoughts on that? I know you've seen it. What's your thoughts on
I
this one?
mean, that's why he's my goat. I mean, this guy is phenomenal, man. I don't care if they say he on the juice or whatever. He still is out there playing at a high level. Now, I would like to see him play a little bit better defense and maybe not argue with those referees so much and just go out there and play. But man, the guy still has a really, really good high IQ when it comes to basketball. He understands what to do out there on the court. He's gonna get you buckets. He's gonna pass. He's gonna rebound, and he's the oldest to ever get a triple double. That's why he's my goat. He's still dropping stats. He's still dropping stats, bro.
I was reading I was looking at KG. I'm infatuated. I love KG's show, and I was watching a short and how he was speaking about Bron and how he said how he it's just how he's gracing us with this longevity. I think we really need to sit back and enjoy this. Like, I've come to the conclusion of just enjoying anytime I see a highlight, because not just his age, but for him to have been doing this since 6, 7, 8 years old, man. Like, for you to be doing what you're doing, I don't care what nobody say, man. I'm at that point. You're doing with something spectacular. The longevity is amazing. I can't wait till he graces with the farewell tour. Who knows what that's going to be like? If he's gracing us with triple doubles at 41, can we get a quadruple at 42, bro? I'm just asking on the farewell tour, but that was something that I had seen as well. At SEC Shaw, he said the hockey kicked off in the Olympics for the men, and they won. The USA men won 5-1, and the women won in the semifinal with a 6-0 shutout win over Italy, and they are 20-1 against their opponents so far, only letting their opponents tally one goal. Shout out to the USA men's and women's hockey team. That's special. One goal in these games so far. That means that women's team is got their eyes set on the biggest prize that you come to the Olympics for, and that's gold. Outside of what we've been talking about so far, I really didn't have much more myself to talk about outside of all seeing. I haven't even tuned into All Star Weekend. That's the craziest thing so far for me. I might watch something tonight. I honestly don't know. I'm really more so looking towards to see what tomorrow brings when it comes to the All Star game itself. See if we get any of that. Rest in peace to Kobe. Any of some of that back when Kobe was in the All Star game. That's when I feel like we last got graced with that competitive spirit in that All Star game. I would love to see it get back to that. I understand there's a lot of money on the floor with the athletes we watching, but that's what we come to see. That's what we watch the game for, is to see some excitement, to see that competitive spirit with them all. So I would love to see that. If it don't get back to that, man, I don't know. What I'll be watching All Star Weekend outside of if it's some golf or something on. I tune into that like I did last weekend. It was a pretty good match on. So that's what I'll be looking forward to. How about yourself?
Hey, man, that Rising Stars challenge was competitive last night.
I was actually at work, so I didn't get that's the one thing I would have watched. I'm gonna actually go back and check out the highlights because I've been seeing a couple, but I'm gonna rewatch it and check it out to see how cold VJ Edgecombe really played, because I think that was a competitive game, but I'm saying they won by one for sure.
I mean, it wasn't just VJ; they was playing hard for real, though. Like I think once some of these older guys shuffle out and that crew get a little older, they gave me hope last night. That in the future of All Star games, we're going to see some better competition, because they was really competing last night for sure.
I
I
will
mean,
say,
they was trying to make sure everybody left the game healthy. Don't get me wrong, but it was some defense being played. Like, you could tell they wanted to win.
I
And I
know.
think that target score is what makes it a bit competitive for real for them.
Yeah, I remember. What was it? It was I think when they had. Can't remember if it was Luca and um, oh, I can't think. I don't know how I'm missing his name. He got drafted to Cleveland first year. Andrew Wiggins. That year, Andrew Wiggins, when they was going at it in that Rising Star. I love the Rising Stars actually. I love that more than anything in these last few years when it comes to the All Star game. Honestly, like the 3-point contest when Curry and Suki did they shoot off. I watched it, but the Rising Stars is the thing that I really like most for real as of late.
One take, Zach. You said target score. What does that mean?
Oh yeah, breaking down,
Yeah,
Zay.
they kind of take the TBT tournament format where they do a target score. So you go on a 40 instead of playing a minute game.
Oh, target.
Yeah, they kind of take a piece of like the Elam ending,
Yeah,
you know.
I like that too. I think it, like you said, it gives them that push to play that defense. That target score makes a difference, as we be seeing in the TBT. Like they definitely put it all on the line. When you got that target score, you know what you got to do. You can set yourself up, run plays, and all those great things. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I like it.
I mean, when you think about pickup basketball and you got that target score, boy, hey, listen, when somebody gets close to that target score, you know that thing heats up, bro. And that
Man,
defense get a little bit stronger, it get a little bit tighter, get a little bit more physical. So
yeah,
yeah, I like that. I like that idea of having a target score.
I
That
think,
is definitely nice.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I like it. Anything else out there? Talk to him about what you about to go tap into, FanDuel's one take, Zay. Where you
Man, I'm
been?
up here. I'm up here at East already. I mean, I shouldn't probably say this on stream, but I kind of snuck through the back door. You know what I mean? Hey, I got my badge around my neck. I got some keys in my hand. I look like I'm working.
Go check that trophy case, man. Give us a glimpse of that trophy case, man. That 2001 squad. See if you see us in there. See if you see that
They
in
upstairs in the office. I'm downstairs right now.
there.
They upstairs. I seen it though. I seen it. Hey, East and Linden got the little football trophy that they play for every year too, man. They need to
Yeah,
start more trophies like that.
yeah.
I can't remember the name of the trophy, but it's on the trophy up there in the office. You know, it's holding down. It's residing at East High School right now. I thought you'd be proud of that.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know I'm alumni, man. I ain't graduate completely. I ain't afraid to talk about it, but I'm Tiger all day. The '01 brotherhood is still in effect, and I'm in the process of talking to the guys, and I can't wait to bring that show to us all this year, man. I'm talking to some of the coaches, some of the players. We gonna come in, man, and just have a talk. I was talking to my cousin about some of that stuff as well. Like I man, I miss high school basketball so much, man. Like when I be going to the games and when I'm watching them with T1, shout out to U City League TV, doing an awesome job, man, and what you do, bringing those live streams to us. And he popped into the Berg last night. That was groundbreaking, because that's something we talked about. And to see him at an OCC game, Reynoldsburg, Newark, incredible, man. We appreciate everything you do, T1 City League TV, man. It don't really get recognized enough. I would say, in the upper rooms, you know how we feel, but we'll say that for another talk. But it's just great. Our time is coming, man. I know our time.
Hey, nephew was balling last night.
Yes, sir.
He was balling. You hear me?
Yes, sir. Hey, look, you got to
He
go.
was getting to it.
You got to get me them timestamps so we can get that. I can go on City League TV, clip them for City League TV, and make sure that we get those clips because I've been working on my clip, and I do need to go in there and get some clips for City League TV.
He said it's a silver like a master key.
But who we got in the City League Championship? Is it Afrocentric at Centennial Girls?
Yeah.
Got the girls and boys on both sides in the City League this year. So the boys is trying to regain something that they haven't had, and it'll be a historical feat. Afrocentric, it's like Afrocentric University over there, the way they do what they do on the boys and girls side. So Centennial trying to come up out of this with the boys and girls, taking titles back home. So this is definitely some must-see TV. If you out and about, or if you don't have nothing to do, you need to go pay them a couple dollars. Go to a historical high school, indeed Columbus, East Side, East High School. Check out that City League Championship. It is going to be worth every bit of the time that you spend in there today. And I'm sure City League TV got us coming live from the City League Championship. I don't know what else to tell y'all, man. Just enjoy your Saturday. But make sure you stay locked in with us because we're going to come at y'all with another banger tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And the faces that you've been seeing, you will see them along with a few more of the guys that's out moving around and busy with their Saturday morning starts as well. Anything you got to say to the people before we get out of here as we coming up on 59, coming up on that hour?
I wanted to get y'all's thoughts on Gilbert Arenas' son. We know he's gone through a lot in this past maybe year and a half with the car incident when he in his Tesla truck, and when he went through with that, have his window busted and get dragged out of the car to save his life, and then him having a meniscus tear and some other damage in his knee, coming back from that injury and rehab to have played in 6 or 7 games, I think, for USC so far. He's really looking really, really good at this point. What's your thoughts on him, and do you think he could be a lottery pick if he decides to come out after this season?
I'm gonna let you go live, Zay, because this is Zay been putting this on notice since last year, if not the year before when we first started. I've been watching him. My brother and dad got a chance to see him at the game when they played OSU this past week, and I watched it. That kid is special. I definitely think he's putting himself in position that he definitely can be a lottery pick. You see it. His dad, we know who Gilbert Arenas is, Agent Zero. I mean, this kid is drooling with talent. For him to come off a torn meniscus, car accident, all of those things, special. Some people are gifted, some stories are different, but I think his is one that we can't wait to see 5, 6 years from now and how special he's becoming as a player as well.
Hey, listen. There's only 2 players I will take him in the draft over, and that's AJ and Peterson and Boozer. I'll take Boozer too, or and Wilson. So 4. It's 4. Them the only 4 guys that I would take over Arenas in his NBA draft. We got to understand something. This kid is supposed to be a senior in high school right now.
Yeah.
You know, the talent is just oozing. Yeah, he's not shooting the best percentages, but if you watch him, he got everything in the bag. And let's just like off of all the stuff he just went through in the last 8 months of his life, he probably only working at about 60-65% right now.
Yeah.
Man, this dude, hey, he nice, man. I hope he dropped later in the draft, because if Lakers don't draft him, I don't know what we doing.
You know Gilbert would love to see
He been saying it. He said he wanted son to LA. He said if the Lakers were smart, we'd draft him.
Man, that boy can go, man. And I'm glad like you really spoke on him, because I know, I was speaking on Cayenne. Everybody have their players that they watch, and you literally been locked in on him. And I started watching him I remember we had phone conversations about it, and I started watching him a lot more then, and seeing him after what he went through. I'm like, imagine if he didn't go through that. What school would he have went to, for one? You know what I mean? And for him to, it's crazy. Like, this stuff is wild. He's oozing with talent, man. I can't wait to see some of these college players at the next level for sure. I think the NBA is going to be in good hands. Seeing the talent that we have in college basketball on the freshman side, NBA is going to be great. NBA is going to be in good hands.
So are you both saying there's no chance that he's coming back for another season in college basketball?
No, not at all. This was the plan all along. No, Gil reclassified him on purpose, because he go to the NBA waste more money. You wasting time. So this was the plan all along, to reclassify and be one and done.
Yeah. Because when he reclassified,
it don't even matter about his draft grade either, because the way they looking at it is, if basketball is full time, you can get so much more better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely, like, I could just imagine him, and his height, once you get that NBA workout, you're a different breed. Like, that NBA workout puts you in a different level, and your work ethic now, like you said, Darren Peterson, those guys you mentioned, AJ DeBanza, Boozer, and we talking about Elijah Arenas, the way we know they work ethic is when they get that at that next level, that first year before they go into things of getting with their team, we know what they could be in the ceiling, how high it could be. So Elijah and Darren Peterson, one take Zay, I think you got a couple top 5 picks that you've been putting us on game to from day one with this college basketball. Shout out to you, and it's appreciated. I mean, anything else for you to start this before we get into the days of college basketball tipping off in less than an hour from one taker? Anything else for the people?
That's all for me.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote, man. As we always do, man. We try to come to y'all every day, every evening, trying to drop bangers. So make sure y'all stay tuned in. Tap them notifications. Put it on all. Don't just hit the notification. Put it on all. Make sure it's bzzz, all that good stuff. Because if you notice at the bottom scrolling, you got SEC Shine, you got post game, no specific order. You got post game 86. You got Parlay Poet Blitzberg. You got City League TV. He's on Facebook. He's on YouTube. You have Level Up Sports 10, which is myself. You can check me out. I'm getting that Facebook page together, and I am on Instagram. So if you could check out that Instagram. I've been putting some things together, and you could definitely message me, DM for any of that good stuff as well. And we have the man, the one and only, that put us all together. And since he's done that, it's just been nothing but fun, first and foremost. And it's just been a brotherhood that I know whatever my day is going through, I could just get in there and send a text and it'll be nothing but fun and laugh. And it could just change my day completely every time. So that's the one thing that, a lot of people don't think that goes on. It goes on here in these chats and WTP Sports Dudes, because we care about not only ourselves, we care about the brotherhood we create, and we care about you, everyone that tunes in, everyone across. It don't matter if you're on the East Coast, don't matter if you're on the West Coast, it don't matter. We care, and we definitely want to be a part of anything that you're doing on the sports side. So make sure you reach out to us, inbox us, DM us. You see the numbers down at the bottom of the screen, scrolling and email. So you have your ways of getting to us. But outside of that, I don't want to chop it up too much, but I want to let y'all get to y'all's normal Saturday as we getting ready to get up out here. And at City League TV, T1 always tell us we was in the building and now we out of the building, as we always do here at WTP Sports Dudes. We hit you with the peace sign and we out. Peace. Appreciate y'all having and joining the stream today. Have a great one. We out.